questions here. I do have, hold on there. So as we kind of go through each question, so the first one here is all of the following are part of a prokaryotic cell except. Okay, so our correct answer here is the nucleus. So remember, the prokaryotic cells do not have a nucleus, they don't have organelles. They are going to have the DNA, they are going to have that cell membrane, that plasma membrane, they will have cytoplasm, and they're going to have those enzymes in the form of those ribosomes to make proteins, but they won't have an entire nucleus. So that was our first question. Our next one going down is which of the following properties or processes do we associate with living things? Actually, let me see if I can do a different one here. All right, so I'm going to do it on this one so you can kind of see where our correct answer is and kind of the proportions here. All right, so our next one here is which of the following properties or processes do we associate with living things? So as we look here, all of the above was the correct answer. So we do have, if you think of your characteristics of life foldable, that it responds to the environment, that it's able to evolve, we have growth and reproduction, and it's able to use energy. So all of the above was the correct answer on that one. Our third question is what is the lowest level of biological organization that can perform at all the activities that are required for life? So cell is the smallest one that can do everything. Our organ systems are made of cells. So the individual cells can do it, organ systems too big. The organism, again, too big. The organelle, now we're getting too small. So that's smaller than a cell, and the individual organelles can't function on their own. And tissues was that kind of collection of cells. Again, so cell is going to be the smallest. That can still do all of the activities. Once we get any smaller than a cell, we start not being able to do some of the activities. All right, so our next question here is talking about a trip to the beach. They found some sea anemones, and it says, what structure helps this algae produce food? So our correct answer here is the chloroplast. The key word here is produce. Our mitochondria doesn't produce the food. It actually releases the energy from food. Our vacuoles can store the food, but the chloroplast is the one that makes the actual food. All right, large numbers of ribosomes are present in cells that specialize in producing which of the following molecules? That would be our proteins. Okay, so remember, our ribosomes build protein. The organelle that does storage, that is our vacuole. Our lysosome breaks things down, our mitochondria releases energy, and our Golgi apparatus packs and moves things around, but it doesn't do storage. The animal cell contains an organelle that helps release energy. So now we're releasing our energy. That is our mitochondria. Our ribosome, it uses energy to build proteins. Our nucleus holds the DNA, and our chloroplasts store the energy. They don't release it. A cell has the following molecules and structures. We have enzymes, DNA, ribosomes, the plasma membrane, the chloroplast, and the mitochondria. This would be our cell from a plant, not an animal. So it can't be a plant or animal because we have that chloroplast. That chloroplast tells us that it's a plant. It can't be any kind of organism because remember, our bacteria, our prokaryotes, they don't have any of the organelles. So we can't do just any type. So it is a plant, but not an animal. All right, our prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells generally have which features? So they all have that plasma membrane. Okay, not all cells have the cell wall. Only animal cells have the flagella. Only plants and animals have a membrane-bound nucleus. So that's not our prokaryotes. Only the cell membrane, that plasma membrane, is in both. Our endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, our endoplasmic reticulum is only in eukaryotic cells. So our prokaryotic cells, guys, they don't have the organelle, so they're not going to have that. They're not going to only be found in prokaryotic cells because, again, prokaryotic cells don't have that. And they're not only in animals, they are also in those plant cells. All right, which of the following concerning prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells is correct? The phospholipid bilayer is present. So the DNA has to be in both types of cells, but it says absent, so that one was incorrect. Prokaryotic cells contain a nucleus. Prokaryotics don't. That is our eukaryotes. Our eukaryotic cells lack the nucleus. Again, that's the prokaryotic cells lack it. Eukaryotic have them. And prokaryotic cells contain those small membrane enclosed organelles. That is incorrect. That is our eukaryotes that have the organelles. All right, which of the following is not a eukaryotic cell? That is our bacteria. Those are the only ones that are not eukaryotic. All the rest have organelles. Which is the example of an organelle? That was our mitochondria. Our stomach is an example of an organ. Respiratory is an example of is the system. And a root cell is a type of cell, not the organelle. All right, so when we go through, is the cell below a prokaryotic or eukaryotic? And this was looking at the picture. It was a eukaryote. There was lots of different answers. If you have that green check or you got points here, you got it correct. It was a eukaryote because it had organelles, it has a nucleus, it had any of those types of reasons, I gave you those points. The cell is also a plant cell. We know this because it is a rectangle, it has a chloroplast, a cell wall, it has the large vacuole, any of those answers I took, and that it was a plant cell, not an animal cell. All right, so then in the picture, the organelle that was shown by the label A is the chloroplast, that chloroplast. Let me actually jump back over to my questions here. So if we look at these pictures, so A is our chloroplast. So the nucleus would be the circle here in the center. The vacuole is actually highlighted here by C, and our endoplasmic reticulum is what is highlighted by B. So A was our chloroplast. Label B was that endoplasmic reticulum. Our Golgi would be the bubbles down here in the corner. A was our chloroplast, the vacuole was C, and then the endoplasmic reticulum again was the correct answer there. For the organelle labeled by C, that was our vacuole. Our Golgi apparatus was down here in the corner. Our mitochondria were these little kind of kidney bean shaped ones with squiggles in them. C, again, was the correct answer as the vacuole, and then our endoplasmic reticulum was the one highlighted by B. So guys, that was all of our cells quiz, just to kind of go over what your correct answers were.